Oh, you want to say hi? So I have been married now for the concept of time to me ever since the is just not, it's just, we're not there. Do you know what I'm saying? I have been married for over 2 years. So my husband is a full-time music producer and an artist here in LA. He's been doing it for a while now. He started when he was younger. He had like a cover band, of course, and he literally could play like any instrument possible, I feel like. And he grew up just in church playing drums and all of the fun things. But he has a project out under his name. It's called Joseph Tilley. And he also has a project out with one of our friends named Emily Vaughn. And their project together is called We're Okay. It's like his side project. It's a duet. It's truly the best. I am truly like just a fangirl of his music. I don't love it because I'm married to him. Like, I love it because I just love it. If people ask me like what kind of vibes he is, I basically just say like very similar to Justin Bieber. I sometimes call him Joseph Bieber, but it's just very indie pop, R&B influenced. I just am so stoked and honored that I'm married to somebody that's so talented and so amazing. And so that's exactly why I am making this video. It is my joy to tell you that today we are going to be reading books based on / inspired / sound like my husband's music. I originally was going to pick the books myself, but after a lot of research, very, very weird research, like talking to AI bots and sending them my husband's songs and asking them to tell me books, that didn't work out very well. But I figured this is a community. I love talking to y'all. I love recommendations from other people. So I'm gonna be messaging a few of my mutuals or people that I watch their videos or they inspire me or I look up to, and I am going to either send them a specific song and have them listen to it and see if they can like think of a book from the song. Or if that doesn't work out, I'll just tell them they can listen to whatever and they can pick a song for themselves. So I'm gonna DM a few people right now and get started because they're gonna have to think and listen, and I'm gonna have to go to the bookstore most likely, which I'm not complaining about that at all. I literally can't wait to go to the bookstore. Okay, so I've messaged my 3 people for hopefully 3 books. I will be back whenever I hear back from the girlies and let you know what they recommended. So it's a few days later and I do have a couple responses back. I am so excited about the books that people recommended to me. And today I am gonna start one. I am gonna be starting with Mary's pick. Mary, I sent probably, dare I say, my most favorite song by my husband. I sent Mary a song called Together, and it's so good. Oh my goodness. Wait, let me just play it for you first, and then I'll give you the spiel.
I guess what I'm trying to say, baby, would you pour in me? Put me on your lock screen.
He wrote this song for me right when we first started dating. It was right before the pandemic and like during the beginning stages of the pandemic. So we were in a distance relationship until we quarantined together. So crazy that that's part of our story. I was really nervous about doing a long distance relationship, but it all ended up working out because of the world and during that time. But he wrote the song for me, just like anything you would do to be with a person you love, especially because we were long distance. Like he would walk to me in the pouring rain, drive to me because I was miles away. He would fly to me, or he wanted to fly to me when I was having hard nights just so I would be okay. And we would just figure it out together. It encapsulates so much of like the beginning stages of our relationship and dating, and it's just so special to me, and it's a MF bop. Every time it comes on, I'm like, woo! But I sent it to Mary, And Mary said, I instantly thought of Lily and Lo, which is from Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. She also recommended a second book, and she recommended also Vanessa and Adrian, Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, which I read Abby Jimenez for the first time this year. One of my favorite books from the whole year, Yours Truly, is by her. And that book that she recommended, I actually already own. So I am gonna be reading this book to go along with my husband's song Together. Mary said it reminded her of the song and the characters, and I am so excited to start reading. So it's later on in the day and I am flying through this book. I'm on page 131 and I haven't felt this way about a book in a long time. I am realizing how so deeply much I love A Man, written by Abby Jimenez. Is her writing amazing? Yes. Is it easy? Yes. Is it deep? Yes. But her men, her men are just so top tier. I can't even begin to express to you. Like, some of my favorite fictional men come from Abby Jimenez books. So far in this book, we are introduced to Vanessa and Adrian. Vanessa is the female main character. She is a famous YouTuber, and Adrian is the main male character, and he is a lawyer. Vanessa recently has decided to foster her half-sister's baby. Her half-sister is an addict, and honestly, just Vanessa's side of the family is very broken. There is hoarding and death and just a lot of heavy things. But Vanessa is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human despite all of her family drama. And then Adrian is a lawyer. He has some broken family issues going on as well. He just got dumped, and he's in a very sad, heavy part of his life. And these two humans' worlds collide because they're neighbors, like literally next door neighbors in an apartment complex. And so the baby that Vanessa is fostering was crying really loud, and it kept Adrian up. So he went next door and see if he could help. And it was so sweet. I definitely can see why Mary picked this for the song, because as the relationship is growing, like, Adrian would do anything just to like be with her. Well, it's not like distance like the song is. They're like, ooh. He just wants to be with her. He's already done some crazy stuff for her that's very out of his comfort zone. And this book is so good.
Wait, I just read a part that said, when she'd had my phone the other day, she changed my lock screen to the selfie of us. I didn't notice it until a few hours later. I hadn't changed it back. In my husband's song, it says, take a picture, put me on your lock screen. I'm obsessed.
Have about 60 pages left of this book, and I am genuinely scared how this is gonna end. It's either gonna be a miracle or absolutely crush my soul into a million tiny pieces. I am not a crier. Like, it takes a lot for me to cry. If this ends the way that I think it might, I like debated putting on makeup today because I really think I'm going to have an emotional breakdown. But I am hoping for a miracle. I can't spoil too much. I truly cannot believe this has been sitting on my shelf for months and I didn't think to pick it up. I will say this book, while there is romance in it, there is so much more. There's a lot of healing of childhood and of family and forgiveness, and even the title, Life's Too Short. Like, there's so many amazing, amazing life lessons in this book. She goes, if you spend your life dwelling on the worst possible thing, when it finally happens, you lived it twice. I don't want to live the worst things twice. When I tell you that this man would do anything, I mean anything, for them to be together, I mean it. This book is breaking my heart. I'm so nervous. This is gonna hurt so bad. I'm about to flip to the last page because I genuinely... This is gonna hurt. I'm sweating. I'm not okay. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my heavens. Oh no. I'm on the epilogue. I'm so scared. This is gonna hurt like a... Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Just dodged a bullet that was going straight for my soul. This book, The 5 Stages of Grief, literally. I'm on the last page. What a book. I'm gonna need a minute. This book will, I don't even know, I literally can't even talk about it. I don't even have words. This book, an absolute 5-star book. If you want a romance book that is so much more deeper than just romance. There's friendship, there's healing with their families, there's growth. The idea that life's short, it's so short. At any moment, anything can happen to someone that you love. It makes you think about life. It makes you not want to take your love and your life and your health for granted. I am so glad I asked for recommendations for this video and didn't pick my own books, or else I probably would have never gotten to this book. I'm only paying attention about this book, but to wrap this into the idea that Mary recommended this book to me based on my husband's song Together, I 1000% see why she did. This man, Adrian, would do anything to be with Vanessa. He had a fear of flying and he got on a plane thousands and thousands of miles away to go see her. They had the most sweetest friendship. They cared about each other deeply. And I am so glad, will never shut up about it, that I read this book and that Mary recommended it to me for my husband's song Together. In the back of her book, there is this recipe for Adrian's chicken and wild rice soup, which they make in the book, obviously, and I am gonna make it for dinner to celebrate how much I love this book. So I am gonna go to Whole Foods and get the ingredients, and tonight we are gonna be making this for dinner.
Long as a slim screen door, sneaking out late, chopping on your
Chopping. Got all the groceries to make the chicken and wild rice soup.
soup. Let me dip you. Dip you, flip you, whip you, and dip you. He's the buzz.
I have the cutest outfit on, and then I have my cross. I keep seeing this coffee drink that looks so good, and I really want to make it.
And you froth it all
This
together.
is the coffee that I want to
It
make.
overflows in the cup. This drink is so simple and yet so delicious.
Not my favorite.
I am so excited because today we are starting the second book for this video. I asked one of my newer favorite YouTubers, Heather actually showed me her. Her name is Shaughnessy, and I love her videos. I love the little life she lives. Everything she posts, I'm obsessed with. So I messaged her and she so kindly got back to me. I sent Shaughnessy the song, Let's Talk About It, and I'll play a little snippet of it. It's so good. The piano is so good. Listen.
So just promise you'll keep me accountable.
Woo!
And not run around what is love without communication.
That's true.
And whatever you need, we will see me, I promise.
Like, what is love without communication? The whole song is just talking about a healthy relationship. You're gonna have fights, you're gonna argue, or you're gonna go through bad times, but just communicate, be vulnerable. It means so much. And I love the piano. His vocals sound so crispy. I love that song so much. And Shaughnessy said back when I sent her the song, she said this song made me think of two books, Where We Found Our Passion by Natasha Bishop and Fast by Millie Belizaire. Sorry if I butchered that last name, Millie. And she said, both guys are cinnamon roll boys and they're both friends to lover stories. Love this bookish idea. So the song gave her like cinnamon roll boy, friends to lover vibes. So I think out of those two books, the first one is in a series and the second one is a standalone. And so I am gonna be reading Fast. And yeah, I'm gonna start Fast on my Kindle. It is on Kindle Unlimited. I ordered the book a few days ago, but it hasn't come in yet. It's supposed to come in tonight. She is an indie author and I did want to support her and purchase her book. So I'm gonna start it on my Kindle, and then when it gets in tonight, I will be reading it on my physical copy of the book. So I wanted to give you a first impression slash halfway through the book update. Before I say anything about this book, I will tell you, please check trigger warnings. There is a very serious topic that is discussed in this book, and it could be very harmful if you're somebody who has lived through any of these things in this book or relate in any way. So check the trigger warnings. That is number one. This book so far, I'm halfway through, is so it's so good, but it's so heartbreaking. This book also is scratching a very weird itch. I have never read a book like this, and I will show you what I'm talking about. So it's separated into 3 acts. This is act 1. The main character, Caprice, it's when she was age 8. Then act 2, Caprice, age 16. And then the final act, act 3, Caprice, age 28. I have never seen a book split up in, not necessarily into acts, but into sections based on somebody's age. So it's telling the story of Caprice and what happened to her when she was a child and how that has affected her when she's 16 in that act and in her relationships. And then I just am about to start act 3, so I don't know what's gonna happen in that age, you know? But I really, really like how the story is told through the acts of what age she was in during them. And act 1 is literally one of the hardest things I've ever had to read in my life. And also the way the author is writing is like, you can tell that she's actually 8 and just so innocent. And the things that happened to her when she was a child are... And then I just got done with act 2 when she was 16. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. And leave me alone. I haven't told you guys a lot about the romance in this book because it's really hard to talk about the romance without ruining a lot of the plot throughout this whole book. In every act, I'm on the last act, like I said, but in the first act, you're introduced to obviously the main character Caprice, and you're also introduced to Sean. This book is from both of their perspectives. Most of it is from Caprice's, but some of the chapters are from Sean. And basically in the first act of the book, it's when they're children, and like you're just kind of getting to see their relationship and how Sean took care of her. There was stuff that was going on in her home that was wrong, and he knew it as a kid, but like didn't know how to express himself. So he ended up just like protecting her and taking care of her. And they also lived across the street from each other, so like he would walk her to and from school. It's just like the most wholesome kids, like in love. Like he knew he was in love with her when he was 10. And then the second act shows them in high school, and he's still taking care of her. He also can't keep any of his relationships because all of the girls make him choose like them or like not being friends with Caprice anymore. And it's just so wholesome. Like they are true soulmates, and I'm never gonna get over it. But in the second act, they end up having, it's not a falling out, but something traumatic really happens to both of them. Because of it, Caprice has to move away. They live in Florida, and she ends up moving to Los Angeles, and they just like lose contact. And then you jump to act 3. And then in act 3, they both like, they haven't reconnected yet. It's the most wholesome, like childhood friends to lovers. Like I am literally never gonna get over it. I think I'm at the point where they're about to see each other for the first time since they had their big, horrible, traumatic incident. But I think they're about to meet each other, and I'm freaking out about it. There she was. what a beautiful, 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 heartbreaking story. She gets hurt, she falls in love, she grows, and she just might overcome. I am rating this book 4.5 stars. I'm not giving it a full 5 because I never really usually say this about like romance books, but I genuinely wanted it to be longer. I wanted more, which is so funny. So that's the only reason why it's not like a perfect book to me, is I genuinely wanted a little bit more, especially I think when in the third act they jumped to her being so older. I just would have liked to see like some of her college and some more of her healing, but that's the only reason why this book is not like amazingly perfect to me. But this was such an incredible book, an incredible story, incredible childhood friends to lovers, healing from really traumatic, heavy things. And I'm never gonna get over this book. So Shaughnessy recommended me this book, and I sent her the song Let's Talk About It, which is a song about talking about hard things, to argue sometimes, but that's what you have to do in a healthy relationship, is be vulnerable and communicate. And to tie that song into this book of why she picked it, I 1000% think that song fits this book so perfectly. They went through some really hard things in this book individually and together, and they had to talk about it, especially in the third act when they finally like had their reconciliation and like redeemed their relationship and their friendship. Like they had to talk about really hard things that happened. They had to be vulnerable together and individually. They went to therapy. They just like really worked on themselves to finally end up meeting back together again. So I think that this was such a perfect pick for that song, and I am so thankful that Shaughnessy recommended me this book. I'm gonna think about this book for a long time. This is one of those books, honestly, both of these books that I read in this video, like I'm gonna think about for a long time.